And welcome to this edition of the Coach Kerry Johnson Sports Show. Join me, Coach Kerry Johnson. And, Coach, the regular season's over. A tough one against Rockwood down
there. Yeah, we had a pretty good week of practice, which we hadn't had in a while. And we had played at probably one of our best games since first of the season, and where we didn't make a lot of we played hard the whole game. That's what we wanted to do. We still made some mistakes, and we turned the ball over, and we said before the game if we did not turn the ball over and kept our penalties to under 3, we would win. Well, we had 2 big turnovers, and we had more than 3 penalties and still had a chance. And so and that was the region champs that we took down to the wire, so maybe we can build on that for this week.
Well, this week it's playoff time. Plus, we'll take a look back at the Rockwood more in depth, and we'll take a look at this week's playoff game right after this from the Union Bank.
For more than a century, Union Bank has been serving the people of Fentress County. Now, as we begin a new chapter in our history of service, we want to take this opportunity to reassure you that while our building may be new, we're still the same friendly people you have known for years. Union Bank, the same people, the same goals, and the same commitment to you. Union Bank, your locally owned hometown bank for more than a century, growing to meet your needs. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Back here on Coach, your guys, like you said, you looked really impressive. You come out a little trickery right off the bat too, as far as the kickoffs.
Well, they weren't actually meant to be all onside kicks. They were a couple of them supposed to be squib kicks. One of them was supposed to be an onside kick, and we got them back. And we had the one that the guy called a fair catch on. That was supposed to be actually about 25 yards down the field, but it is what it is. The one thing we did the other night was we got in the rhythm offensively a little better, and hopefully if we can do that, I'll feel a lot better about our chances.
Coach, your defense, you were able to shut them down at times, but sometimes they just failure to wrap up, and they would use that second effort, especially number 7.
All those guys. Number 1, you hard to tackle him in a phone booth. You had a number 9. They were all good running backs, and of course their quarterback who got knocked out of the game. The thing with those guys is they killed us with 2 plays pretty much, and one of them was the counter play, and it was just simple of not playing assignment football on the backside. Our ends got to step down, and they weren't stepping down. They were leaving the gap. They were coming up the field and leaving the gap, and they were running right into that gap over and over again. Hopefully, we'll see. South Green will see that, and they'll obviously do that too, unless we've got to correct that.
Coach, you did shut down their air game pretty much, though.
Yeah, the conditions. We knew that they're kind of a wing tee out of the shotgun. Mostly is what they like to do, and we were going to give up some. We didn't care to give up a little bit of passing if we could shut them down in the run game. We knew number 1, they wanted to get him the ball as much as possible, and of course 9 and 7 run hard as well as the quarterback. And we did a fairly good job of containing. Just did not. We had them 3rd down and 11 at the end of the game, and they got 12 yards on it. Had we got the ball back there, I still think we could have, set up to tie or maybe go for a win.
Coach, offensively, you were able to move the football on the ground pretty decently on Friday night.
Yeah, we went back to kind of what we've done in past. We triple option football is what we pretty much did, and ran some counters and some powers, and stuck with that pretty much the whole game. Had our line played probably one of the best game they played all year this week, no doubt about it. They got on their blocks most of the time, and if they didn't get the right guy, at least they were on somebody. And if we can just fine-tune a couple of things up there, I think we can be a tough team to beat in this playoff game.
Coach, your team, you talked last week about not having maybe the leadership you want, but we've seen look like you got some leadership this past weekend from Stover and some of the other guys. Just they came on and showed they had that leadership ability.
Well, it's just about having some fight in them. We said before the game, it's an old saying, losing does not build character. It reveals character. And that's kind of what we told them before the game. I said, you're going to have to wake up. Did you give everything you could for this team tonight? And I think for one of the first times this year, they could answer, yeah, that they played, they gave 100%. Now we do that. We correct our mistakes. We can be to where we think we should be.
Well, the Dragons this week head into the playoffs. We'll take a look at the South Green Rebels right after this.
For more than a century, Union Bank has been serving the people of Fentress County. Now, as we begin a new chapter in our history of service, we want to take this opportunity to reassure you that while our building may be new, we're still the same friendly people you have known for years. Union Bank, the same people, the same goals, and the same commitment to you. Union Bank, your locally owned hometown bank for more than a century, growing to meet your needs. Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Back here, Coach Kerry Johnson. Coach, this week you got the Rebels. What do you know about South Green?
They are a really good football team. Obviously they're ranked highly in the state. They beat Hampton, who was number 2 or 3 at the time, and they're in the same region. They're fairly similar in a lot of ways, but they're going to run a spread offense, throw it a lot. And their quarterback is their main running threat. He's a really good ball player. I think he's up for Mr. Football in Class 2A. He's really solid, and we got to keep that under control, keep everything in front of us, make them drive down the field, and hopefully force them into long third downs and get off the field, or turn them over on downs and just get off the field and maybe force them into mistakes every once in a while.
And what are you going to do offensively to move the ball against?
I think if we can do what we did the other night, control the tempo and have those long and have drives where we don't create down and distance situations where with a penalty where we're behind the sticks, I think we can be okay.
You mentioned defensively. Give us some players from South Green to watch for.
Well, they're basically like us. Most of their guys are going to play both ways. Their quarterback plays on the defensive side of the ball as well. They got a number 10, is a really good athlete, plays a slot receiver a lot of times, and he'll play corner. Number 24 linebacker, you'll see him all over the field. They like to blitz him a lot. And if we can, and the defensive end on the weak side will like to shoot away. If the ball's going away from him, he likes to shoot that B gap and try to chase the ball down from behind. So we got our hands full, but like I said, if we can play assignment football, we can be all right against these guys.
Coach, your special teams had some tricks up their sleeves the other night and came away with a pretty good ball game. Are you going to maybe let South Green see a little different side of you this week?
Well, like I said, a couple of those were kind of by mistake on that, but we like I said, we look a lot at special teams and try to figure out where we can exploit something that they do, and they have pretty good special teams as well. So it hopefully that's you win that. You got 1/3 of the game won, and if we can, we got to cover kicks well because they've returned kicks very well, and so our kickoff coverage has got to be spot on this week as well. I don't think they have a number 1 that Rockwood has or those type of athletes, but they're all solid.
Coach, and hopefully you can get some big returns from your kids. We've noticed that they've pretty much tried to keep the ball away from Barger.
Yeah, which is, you got Stover on the other side, so, we have a double threat back there on the kickoff returns. And we study that like crazy, trying to figure out where there are a couple of weakest spots on there to exploit that if we can. And hopefully we can find something on there and it'd be nice to have a play on a kickoff this week.
Coach, you go in the undecidedly underdog in this one. You're going in and taking on a team that's 8-2, of course, and they are ranked, as you said. But there's no saying you can't win it if you ain't in it.
No, we're going to show up and be down there hopefully. And I think that, like I said, if we can play with the effort that we put into this last week and just correct mistakes, I think we can play with anybody. I don't think they're they're right there with Rockwood as far as being they're the region champs. We just went with the region champs on our side. I think we can, we go down there and play sound, fundamental football and give effort. We can win a ball game.
And we need a great big crowd to travel. I know it's a long haul, but we need a big crowd.
Yeah, it'd be great to see some people down there, and it'll probably be freezing cold too. And they say there's possible snow, so it's it'll be interesting.
That's mountaintop football.
That's why you're going to remember November, and this is a chance right here.
Well, Coach, thank you for joining us, and best of luck as you head to South Green on Friday.
Thanks, Kerry. Appreciate it.
That's going to do it for this edition of Coach Kerry Johnson Sports Show. Be sure to turn out Friday night. You're going to South Green for a huge, huge first-round playoff game, and they need you there. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. That is Central Standard Time, so be sure to get there plenty of time for the game. Till then, for 15104 Sports, I'm Gary Clark. See you at the game.